Hello and good morning. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen. Guys, this is the channel that brings you your team every single day, brings you your daily Rangers fix. And, as I've said on previous videos, we are not going anywhere over the summer. We are not cutting back over the summer. We will be keeping going with our daily content, with our podcasts, and we've got some fabulous guests coming up for you over the next few weeks. Just a bit of a hint, a bit of a spoiler here. We've got Colin Stewart coming up next week, who is the who is the director of the Rangers Youth Academy company. Fantastic. Involved with the club, involved with the youth setup. Be a brilliant guest to have on to talk all things Rangers. And not next week, but the week after, I've got Derek Clark from the Rangers Review also coming on the channel as well to talk all things Glasgow Rangers. And we are currently working on a number of other very exciting guests for you. We're also working on some players. We're hoping to get to players eventually. No promises as yet, but we will get there. Guys, the support you've given this channel has been absolutely superb, and we thank you for that. If you want your daily Rangers fix, if you need that daily Rangers content, hit that sub, ring that notification bell, and come and join the over 1,500 others who've already done so. That's right, guys. We have hit over 1,500 subscribers now. We're on, I think at time of recording, it's 1,524 subs. Our target is to get to 3,000 subs by September the 15th. Why September the 15th? Well, it's a special day. It's my daughter's 13th birthday, my youngest daughter. So that's why I've set that as a target. 3K by that day would be outstanding, guys. I'm sure with your support, we will get there. Best fans in the world. We will hit that easy. Well, this morning, I know why you're here. You're here for Rangers news. You're here for Rangers content. You're here to find out all the latest news that are going on around our club. Now, we've got transfer rumours. We've got realistic transfer rumours. We've got stupid transfer rumours. And we've got some, maybe could happen transfer rumours. We've got news about youth team players. We've got news about a youth team prospect who I want to see more of next season. And other bits and pieces that are going on around our club. So, guys, strap yourselves in, get yourselves ready, sit down, get yourself a cup of coffee, get yourselves a biscuit, chill out and get ready. Or get your breakfast, depending on what time you're watching this, or your lunch, or your evening meal, depending on what time you're picking up this video. Chill out, enjoy, and just, enjoy the content, guys. That's what my aim is with this video. Okay, so let's start off with those youth team players that are going to be released this summer. Who are they? Well, they are 9 departures. That's right, 9 departures from our academy. 9 youth players will be moving on, leaving the end of the season. We'll be saying goodbye, adieu. We'll be giving them the Scottish salute to say goodbye to them. They are Kai Kennedy, Tony Weston, Murray Miller, Kevin Chibataru, Charlie Lindsay, Lewis McKinnon, Kelsey Ewan, Harley Ewan, Alex Kapaka. I think Kapaka. That's a difficult name to pronounce, guys. Why can't we have some names that are really easy to pronounce? I really do struggle. I do massacre names. It's one of my bad qualities. A couple of names spring out there. Obviously, Tony Weston, who's I've seen score this year for the B team. Charlie Lindsay, I know, was someone that Rangers did at one point very highly rated and have very high expectations of. But he will be going on. I know he's already attracted interest from Championship and League One clubs down south of the border, with allegedly Sunderland and Derby County and Stoke City been linked with the young Scotsman's services. Lewis McKinnon, another one who was even been talked a little bit about, as a possible first team player as well, towards the end of the season, given our injury crisis at centre back. But obviously that's not the case. He will be going on. And obviously we wish those 9 players departing all the very best and all the future success they can have in their career. I'm sure obviously once they've had because they've had that excellent grounding here at Glasgow Rangers, they will obviously hopefully go on to have successful careers elsewhere at other clubs. But boys, we wish you all the best. Good luck in your future career, and thank you for all you've done for Rangers to this point. Okay, so let's get to those transfer rumours. What should we start with? I know we're going to start with one of those silly ones, one of those laughable ones, one of those ones that is just clearly somebody putting 2 and 2 together and getting 6 or 7 or 8 or 15 or something that's completely stupid anyway. Now, I read so many websites, I read so many papers, I talk to people, I talk to sources. Guys, I look everywhere to find you all the latest news. Now, I was reading the Ibrox news earlier, and I read an article and it actually made me laugh out loud. And it's a case of someone being desperate for clicks. I think that's what it is, desperate for clickbait. Jack Clark, Jack Clark, Sunderland winger, left winger, can play as a centre forward, can play as an attacking midfield player, can play in a number of different positions. Very, very talented player. Joined Sunderland from, I think it was Tottenham last summer, ex-Leeds player. Very talented player. Now, apparently, according to Ibrox News, Rangers would like to secure the services of this outstanding young left winger. What they failed to tell you in the article is Sunderland's asking price. Now, at this moment in time, Jack Clark is currently getting interest and has had 3 bids submitted from 3 Premier League teams, which are thought to be Crystal Palace, Burnley, and Brentford. Those bids apparently have not been not successful because Sunderland, the 10 million pound bids have been told that they are not enough to secure the services of the player. Sunderland are looking for somewhere in the region of 15 to 20 million pounds for the services of Jack Clark. Obviously, again, English premium. That's what you get when you get a young English player. You get that premium on top. Now, Glasgow Rangers has been estimated have a budget of between 15 and 20 million pounds to spend on players. Realistically, are they going to spend their entire budget on a left winger when they need centre forwards, when they need a centre back, when they do need a winger? I really don't think so. I think this is one of those very laughable rumours that I think we need to laugh off the pages of the internet. Certainly an unrealistic rumour. 15, 20 million. I certainly think, we'd have to be delving down the back of the sofas in the Ibrox boardroom to find those extra pennies to pay for that deal. So I don't think that is at all realistic. Now, a more realistic target when it comes to left wingers is Luis Palma. He's certainly someone who has been very heavily linked with Rangers, and I've put multiple videos out on Luis Palma and his link to Glasgow Rangers. Now, it is pretty much known that Palma will be on the move this summer. His club, Aris Thessalonica, have admitted this much. They've said that, that they will lose the services of Palma at the end of the season. He has been a big success in Greece. He's done a pretty good job for them, a pretty fine job in the Greek Super League and in the playoffs as well for Aris Salonika. Thessalonica to be precise. In terms of Palma's present record and how he's got on this season, you look at it and he scored 11 goals in 29 games and 4 assists in the Greek Super League. That's 15 goal contributions in 29 games. He is certainly someone who is very highly thought of, and it has been confirmed that Rangers are very interested in this player. He's seen as a player who could come in, he could replace Ryan Kent. Now, reportedly, Rangers put in a bid of 3 million euros, which is 2.6 million for the player, which was rejected by the Greek side. Now, apparently, the Greek side are looking for around 5 million euros or 4.3 million pounds to secure the services of Luis Palma. Palma is someone who is very versatile. He can play left wing, he can play through the middle, he can play out wide right, he can play all in that 3 behind the striker. He got an average rating of 7.12 this season in his 29 appearances. He also generated 1.7 chances per game for his side, and he really did show the ability to open up opposition defenses with his skill and his speed. He obviously cracked up a number of 13 goals in all outings, including cup competitions, and 8 assists in 36 outings. So that's 21 goal contributions in 36 outings, which is very, very good indeed, by far outrating what Ryan Kent did this season. He is Honduran. That's his nationality. And according to an interview that Palma gave to media in Greece, he said that he fancied a move to Europe, and he fancied a move in particular to Great Britain, talking obviously of the Premier League or the Championship, and obviously of the Scottish Premier League. So it is clear that he does want to come to Britain. He wants to come and ply his trade on the island of in the United Kingdom. So Rangers obviously are a team that are very heavily interested. That is what has been confirmed by media, and apparently an initial bid has been rejected. It remains to be seen whether Rangers will return with an increased offer for Palma. He certainly is someone who I think could come in and do a great job on that left side for Rangers, or even on the right side, and really replace Ryan Kent, obviously, who had a very poor season this past season, and obviously is moving on at the end of the season. And, we all have our views on Ryan Kent. He was great during 55. Last 12 to 18 months has not been the best and has had sporadically good performances, obviously all culminating with that substitution in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup when he was substituted for tactical reasons, which, as we all know, is manager speak for he was not good enough. Now, there's another rumour currently doing the rounds and was put out by Rangers Rabble podcast last night, but it's not just Rangers Rabble. I'm not saying it's only Rangers Rabble podcast. There are a number of websites around Europe, transfer websites, foreign media who are reporting Rangers reported interest in Hagi Wright. Yes, that's right. Hagi Wright. No, not Yanis Hagi and Scott Wright, but Hagi Wright. Now, someone did joke earlier, it would be very, very Rangers to sell Yanis Hagi to sell Scott Wright and replace them with Hagi Wright. Yes, that's right. I think that's a very poor attempt at a joke, but hey, there we go. Now, Hagi Wright is someone who we've previously talked about on this channel. He's an American international striker. Big guy again, another guy over 6 foot, again in that big physical mold that Beale appears to be going for this offseason. Beale has gone for obviously Dowell over 6 foot, Sterling over 6 foot, Butland, who looks like to come in over 6 foot. Big physical specimens, and Hagi Wright is certainly someone who fulfills that criteria. Now, what do we know about Hagi Wright? Well, we know that his full name is Hagi Amir Wright. He's 25 years old. He's from Los Angeles in California, and he is 6'3". And again, he's one of those hybrid players. He can play through the middle as a centre forward, and he can also play as a main striker. And many people think that obviously that is his best position up front through the middle, obviously putting himself in a position to score goals. Now, is this a realistic move? He's currently with Antalyaspor in Turkey. His youth career was with LA Galaxy and then in Germany with Schalke 04. Hagi Wright is going to be expensive. Now, if you look at Hagi Wright, he has had a number of clubs in his career. He started off at New York Cosmos, then went to Schalke, then to SV, Sandhausen, before going to Venlo, where he had no success, scoring 0 goals in 22 appearances. He then went to Senjersk, where he scored 11 in 29, and Antalyaspor on loan, where he scored 14 in 32. And then this season, where he moved permanently to Antalyaspor, he scored 15 in 25. For the United States, he scored 2 goals in 7 full caps after representing the United States at all youth levels. Now, Hagi Wright is someone who obviously has scored in the Turkish league, but has had a very mixed record. If you look back over that record, 1 goal at Schalke, no goals at Venlo, 11 or 29 at Senjersk, a lower league team. No goals for New York Cosmos. New York Cosmos are not an MLS team. Schalke 04, the second team, he scored 14 in 22. So, that lower level, he's perhaps done it. The question has to be, can he step up? Can he prove himself? Yes, obviously, I know that in the Scottish Premier League, we do play some of those weaker teams, teams that are really not much copy, your Livingstons, your Ross Counties of this world. But obviously, there is Celtic, that team from across the city that we have to play. We've got to beat this season. We've got to show them that they are not the top team in Glasgow. And, I think we started to prove that towards the end of last season with the squad that wasn't really up to the task, but still managed, I think, to, at Parkhead, be the better team, and then obviously beat them at Ibrox, despite their pathetic excuses. We've also got the European competition coming up with obviously the Champions League, possible Europa League if we don't make the Champions League. But realistically, we've got to really push on and try and get into that Champions League. Is Hagi Wright going to be good enough? Now, the only issue I've got with this is the amount of money that Antalyaspor want for the American international, which is reported between £6.5 and £7 million. It just does seem an awful lot of money to me to pay for someone who has never done it at the highest level, at one of the best clubs in Europe, and has done it at the lower level in Turkey. He's a bit. He reminds me a little bit of Josie Altidore for me, Now, Josie Altidore, those of you who don't know who Josie Altidore was, he was an American international striker who, when he played when he played on the continent, when he played, I think it was Holland. He had great success with Holland in Holland. Sorry, I mean, who was it he played for? He went to AZ and he scored 39 goals in 67 games for AZ Alkmaar, which then have got Sunderland to pay a lot of money for him. He scored 1 goal in 42 games. He then went to Toronto FC in Canada, scored 62 in 139 games, but he's someone again. He went to Hull City, scored 1 in 28. I don't know. I just get slight Josie Altidore vibes from Hagi Wright, and I really don't think that paying 6.5 to 7 million pounds for one striker, putting all your eggs pretty much in one basket, and not a great basket, if I'm being honest. That's the thing. It's not a great basket. It's a bit of those, dodgy value eggs. I think that's what I describe. Not for me. Not for me. Not for that amount of money. Not for a player that hasn't done it at that top level. Now, if we're going to be spending £6.5, £7 million on a player, or upwards of that, or even in that ballpark, 5 to 6 million, I'd much rather see them go for Anastasios Divakis, the striker from Utrecht, the Greek striker from Utrecht, who scored 19 goals in the Eredivisie this year. Did a very good job. Someone who is seen as being very promising. Indeed, is a young man, still with a lot of promise. Obviously, the other one, again, who we mentioned on yesterday's video, Fridgan, the Matija Fridgan, the Croatian striker, again, 20 years old, lots of room to develop, scored lots of goals for Rijeka. Again, I know the Croatian Super League isn't going to be the best. I know what you're thinking. Well, Owen, you've just said that that Hagi Wright doesn't inspire confidence because he hasn't done it at the highest level. But Fridgan, I know, is someone who's very highly rated, Croatian youth international, and look, again, perhaps it's football snobbery, but Croatia, America, historically, who produces the better footballers? Croatian footballers of the past. You've got players that obviously now like Modric and you've got Perisic, obviously, and Cholak, who's come in and done a good job for us this year. And even in the past, Jelavic, Perso. Croatia historically produces good Boban, produces good footballers. America, I know we had Claudio Reyna and Carlos Bocanegra, but I don't know. I've just got doubts over paying that much money for someone like Hagi Wright. I would much rather spend that money on someone like Matija Fridgan or obviously Anastasios Divakis. Those players for me I think are much less of a risk, or even someone like Josh Madja. Obviously, Bordeaux have completely messed up getting promoted. He did say that he would like to stay with Bordeaux if they got back into Ligue 1. They seem to have absolutely messed that up and will not be promoted now. Obviously freeing the Madja up. Josh Madja, I think, is someone we definitely need to go after. That kid has got 2 foot. He's 2-footed. He's got speed. He's a great finisher inside the box, outside the box. And I definitely think he could be someone who could bring something to Rangers. But the intention does seem to be from the club to sign at least a couple of strikers in this window. And I think that is absolutely necessary for me to bring in those 2 strikers. Then obviously, if you add them into obviously the likes of Zach Lovelace and Antonio Cholak, if they stay at the club, you've got 4 good quality strikers there for next season. But it does very much depend on who we spend our money on this summer. And obviously, those striker links are going to keep on coming until somebody finally walks through the door, finally stands at Ockenhowie or at Ibrox with a flag, with a scarf. That's the one over their head and holding a shirt. Although that'd be hard to do. Hold a flag and where's the flag come from? Stop talking about flags, Owen. The scarf over his head and a shirt. Can't do it, can you? So a shirt and then perhaps a scarf. We can't obviously, rely on who it's going to be yet. We need to see someone actually come through the door, and that's got to be something that I think happens once the 14th of June is out of the way. Okay, guys, we're going to finish this morning's video just talking about someone who I've got really high expectations of for this forthcoming season, and that is young Bailey Rice. Now, Bailey Rice was on the bench against St Mirren for the last game of the season. And he's certainly someone who has really impressed for the B team this year. He's certainly someone who has really done, and really shown that he is, I think, capable of breaking through and making a mark at the club. And I know Bailey Rice is only 16 years old, but he's a quality player. He's a really quality player. He made his professional debut for Rangers this season playing against Livingston, and certainly didn't look out of place. He was only 16 years old. 16 years and 137 days, I think it was, when he made his first appearance, making him the youngest post-war player in the league for Rangers. Derek Ferguson still though holds the overall record because he made his appearance at just 16 years and 24 days. But Bailey Rice is someone I definitely think can have a big effect. He also got game time against Liverpool, Napoli, Ajax in the UEFA Youth League, and he's, I think, very eager, I think, to push on and do very well indeed. Discussing his time at the club, he's helped promote Rangers Youth Development Company and their continued commitment to the Rangers Academy. We have, like I said, got Colin Stewart from the Rangers Youth Development Company coming on the podcast. He talked about how well they've done. He says that I've been a Rangers fan my whole life, so it's a big part to play in. And my move from Motherwell, he's talking about the Rangers Development Company. This is a great club. I've enjoyed playing in the B team this season. There's a clear pathway to the first team here. It was nerve-wracking when I first joined, to be honest, but the players and all the coaching staff have been great with me. They all helped me settle in quickly, and it's been brilliant ever since. I feel at home here, and it was a dream come true to make my debut against Livingston. That was what you dream of doing as a young kid, and the gaffer gave me the opportunity to express myself. I was away with Scotland just before that game, so it was a bit hectic. I had trained with the first team 2 weeks before Livy, and I thought I did really well. I played against Hungary and Switzerland, and again, I thought I did well in those matches. Then, when I was travelling home and checking my bags when we were leaving Spain, I got a call to say I'd be on the bench against Livingston the next day. It was incredible to hear that news. It was a huge achievement to even be involved in the squad, but obviously to make my debut was even better. It was only a few minutes, but it was great to play, and that's all I want to do, play games for the first team. I was given a great opportunity, and I know I'm good enough to be there. My family were at the game, and it was emotional. My dad had a season ticket for Ibrox when he was growing up, so it was great for him to see me playing in a Rangers jersey. It was his day too. When the gaffer told me to get ready to go on, I was delighted, but I still had to go out there and do a job for the team. It's now up to me to keep working hard and try and get back round to the first team side of the training ground. All the players looked after me when I was there, and now I just need to keep on doing well with the academy and try and earn more chances to train with the squad. I need to work as hard as possible and be ready to take any chance that I get. And I definitely think that Bailey is someone I think can come in, can come part as the squad, even at 16, and help Rangers, I think, to be successful next season. Well, guys, that's the end, obviously, of the video. Lots of information this morning, lots of news this morning. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed your tea and your biscuit as well, or you've had your coffee and your biscuit whilst you've been watching, or your evening meal, or your breakfast, or your lunch, whenever you're having this. And if you've enjoyed the content, please hit that sub, ring that notification bell, and give the video a like, guys. It does help out. I'll be back to speak to you again really soon here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, remember, we are the people.